Uh, I'm here with Mike, who is one of the students here at Seamus University, better than nothing. And we're going to get to know Mike a little bit and hear about his experiences at Seamus. Mike, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself first and your background
Um,
in Latin?
so I teach Latin at the high school and middle school level. I actually had an opportunity last year to try to get a Greek program off the ground, but then I was cursed with blessings and we had to get rid of it because too many people signed up for Latin. Don't you hate when that happens? So yeah, right. I've been a Latin scholar since eighth grade. I in seventh grade. I don't know if they have these around you, but they every month or so we would get these like pamphlets from our in our English classes, and they had a whole bunch of different like books that you could like bring back to school with like a little bit of money and order books, and then you'd get them in class, and everybody would be like, "Oh gosh, what books did you get?" So naturally, I bought the video game, and it was Age of Mythology. I don't know you.
Yeah.
They're made by the same people who did Age of Empires, and I think there's another Age of game. But it was awesome. And then near the end of the year, we chose our language for the following year. And I picked Latin because it was the closest one to Greek. I had sworn vengeance. Yeah. I had sworn vengeance earlier that year on Homer. Because for my seventh grade book report, I decided to read the Iliad. Not knowing very much as a 12-year-old, I picked a copy off the shelf with the coolest cover. It was the Alexander Pope translation. So I was in over my head very quickly, and I had to settle for Percy Jackson. So I swore vengeance on Homer in seventh grade. In high school, I had 4 years of Latin. I was a year ahead because I had that eighth grade year. And then in college, I said I was either going to study astrophysics or the classics. And I got an A in ancient Greek and a C minus in calculus. So I chose classics.
Your
And
fate was written in the stars.
yeah, yeah, right. Nice. And then, so when I was in college was really formative for me. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. Well, farther than like one step ahead of me. And I had a friend who was really struggling in ancient Greek class. And we found out it was because she never figured out the Greek alphabet. The professor let her go 6 months or like an entire semester not knowing the Greek alphabet. And she's dyslexic. And so so I was frustrated by that. Like somebody who was a brilliant scholar in the making was left behind by what I not to no what by a person who didn't care enough about her to give her some help. And so over the course of a single evening, I taught her that, and I was like, okay, this isn't as hard as people make it out to be. Maybe I can be pretty good at it. And then I did all the teaching stuff, and had to go to get a master's degree because there weren't any schools that taught Latin within like the legally mandated radius of my school, so that I could get my teaching license in undergrad. And while I was in my graduate program, I did my master's thesis with the intent of proving that CI doesn't work.
How did that work out?
Well, I got hired a few months later at a 100% CI school. So I convinced myself quite the opposite. So that brings us basically up to the present day, I think.
More or less.
More or less.
What brought you to Seamus U?
What brought me? I can't remember. What we got in contact with each other because we were both doing stuff with tabletop role-playing games. And I think it was either I can't even remember who like put us in contact with each other, but like I saw that you had that Vampire the Masquerade class, And that was like right at the same time that I was like getting ready to start playing Dungeons and Dragons in my own Latin classes. And so it was just like a very cool opportunity, and that's why I took it.
Brilliant, brilliant. So the only classes you've done with me are Latin role-playing classes.
Yeah.
Well, that's not typical for most people, but
Sure.
but it's brilliant. What could someone who is interested in that side of Seamus U expect?
Just a lot of fun. Like it was fun. Like my Latin vastly improved. There's so many of those little conversational. You guys, just for the record, that class was like the first real opportunity I had to converse with people in Latin ever. So like actually having an opportunity to like hear and speak in Latin with other people was an incredibly valuable experience, especially as a teacher. It was kind of, I mean, like, you know, fake it till you make it, but like, you made it, now that I'm like, it got me over that last little hump into like really understanding the flow of conversation in Latin, and a lot of those little conversational words that you either don't see in texts as much, or but are important utility for conversation, or just all the different little nuances in some of those words.
What has been the outcome personally for you in terms of your own Latin ability and teaching, I suppose?
Yeah, I'm better. That's
my motto. Probably won't make you worse. Better.
Yeah, I'm better. No, it's been great. This is the last year. I mean, sure, the pandemic made things even harder, but this is really the first year that I felt competent enough to do a lot of in my oral Latin proficiency, to do a lot of those low prep, no prep strategies. And so I have time to myself again. What do you know? On top of that, I've been like, I bought a whole bunch of new books to read. Oh man, where is it? I have it. I bought a Chronicle of English History because I got really into the Black Plague. I'm like able to read like Latin now, and I'm discovering like whole new places in history that I didn't know were that I didn't even know were there. Like I'm like super into medieval history now, so that's why I'm taking your medieval William of Rubric class. So I'm like super into medieval history now, and it's super cool to read. And like I didn't know about any of this. I always thought that I like didn't like history, but like it's just like, wow, it's so alive.
Well, thanks for your time today.
Oh yeah, my pleasure.